Hello everybody, welcome to another MX Bikes video, and today guys, we're at Matterley Basin in the beautiful country of Great Britain to race the MX of Nations event here in MX Bikes. Now, there are 45 riders from 15 different countries, and everyone is here to compete and see who the fastest country is in this game. Now, the country I'm representing is Guam, which isn't even actually a country, but it's the United States B team. I'm not on Team USA, I'm on the B team. The reason they have B teams is just to fill the gate, because there's a lot of Asian countries that we don't have that play this game to fill the gate. I was lucky enough to qualify for this team in the qualifying races a couple weeks ago, and today guys, my goal is to get Team Guam in the top 5 at the end of this day. Okay, if we can be in the top 5 out of 15 countries as a B team, that would be absolutely incredible. And just to introduce our team real quick, I am the MXGP rider, Beaston is our MX2 rider, and then Ethan is our open rider. Now I'm gonna put on the screen the format of this event. It's a 3 moto format. Basically how it works is 2 riders from each country will compete in each moto. So I'm gonna be competing in Moto 1 and Moto 3. Beaston will be in Moto 1 and Moto 2, and then Ethan will be in Moto 2 and Moto 3. So it was a long day. 3 30-minute plus 2 lap motos. Anything can happen, boys. Let's see if we can get it done. And look at this beautiful bike here made by SL Designs. This thing, oh my goodness. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. But boys, before we get into this race, hit that something with that like button. Also, we're gonna have to alpha our fellow competition. Anyways, guys, we're here on the gate, and all I could think in my mind was we just need to stay up. It's me in this race. It's Beaston in this race. So we got the MXGP rider and the MX2 rider. The MX2 riders are obviously all on 250s, and I'm on the 450 here. So it's my job to lead this for the team, all right? Now, my goal coming in was get a top 10 in Moto 1. That was just flat out my goal. I didn't know if it was going to be easy. I didn't know if it was going to be hard, but I knew this track was going to be rough, and it was going to be tough. So if I couldn't get this start, just follow people, get around them, have a nice, clean first couple laps. See if we can get her done, boys. Now, at this point, boys, I'm in a pretty good spot here. I'm close to the top 10. I'm probably in 12th, maybe 13th. Now I'm probably up to 11th. I mean, I am in such a great spot in this first lap. We got open track in front of us. I'm like, all right, just stay up a couple laps. We're going to be in a great spot to battle for a top 10. And then MX Bikes happens, okay? Guy cuts over on me. I'm not going to lie, I freaked out a little bit. And that caused me to get some Poboso physics and then get some more Poboso physics. I didn't want to re-enter the track and crash people, so I don't know what I was doing, okay? I basically I choked a little bit here, okay? So now I'm basically in dead last, and now I'm freaking out a little bit, but then I look at the clock, I'm like, all right, dude, we got 28 and a half minutes left, bro. Like, it does suck that this happened, but listen, we got crashed, all right? It wasn't even really my fault. Okay, now we just need to lock in, and we're going to be fine. We're going to be just fine, boys. I know I can be quick on this track. I know I'm feeling good on this Husky. Do not give up now. It's way too early. All right, so that happened. Now I'm like actually starting to get like pissed a little bit. I'm like, dude, this can't be happening right now. This is my worst nightmare unfolding right before my eyes. And then look at this. I ran into my own teammate, bro. Landed quad. I was just trying to hit the line. I don't even know what happened. I think his front wheel just caught onto my back wheel or something. I really have no idea. So now me and him are both basically in dead last, and I'm like, wow. So this is bad. Just one lap ago, I was almost in top 10, and now we're back in like 26th. I didn't think it could really get any worse, so I'm like, you know what? There's nothing to really lose now. Like, it's up to me to just send it, and we still have plenty of time. Maybe I can work up, but we can't keep crashing, man. That was the #1 thing. I cannot keep crashing. I'm gonna be honest, boys. I've had times on this game where I've been very mad. All right, like, it happens. Okay, this is top 3 all time. This is top 3 most angering moments on this game. I've been crashed 3 times now, and I'm literally losing my mind. I can't even believe what's happening. I'm looking in front of me. This is my teammate here. We are in 26th and 27th place. If the race ends now, we are the worst country to ever exist in MX Bikes history. We are 15th. We are the worst. Okay, Guam is poopy confirmed. So I'm losing my mind. Okay, he's on a 250, so I'm like, all right, my bike's got more power. He's got to let me by, right? Like, I think he knew at this point, if I don't get around him here, like, we're just chalked. Like, it's over. At least that's what I thought. But he made 0 movements to let me by at this point. So I kind of just had to race him, to be honest. I was like trying to take this outside, like, where do I even pass him? Because there really was a main line around this track. It wasn't like you could really use a secondary line to get around someone. And so I'm just trying to find a way here. Like, I got to get around this guy. And then I, you know, Paboso physics over the rut. So now it really can't get any worse than this. I mean, we are literally in the trenches. But guys, the race was not over. I look up at the clock. We got 24 minutes left. I know it may look really grim right now, but 24 minutes plus 2 laps is a lot of time. So, you know, in my mind, you know, I thought about hitting the power button after I got cross-jumped there, but I was like, no. Okay, this is not over. Okay, I've made big comebacks in the past. I can do it again. You guys thought it was gonna happen again, didn't you? Nope, it happened again. I get taken out for a 4th time. Not my fault. Again, I just got absolutely punted by Australian netcode. I don't even know what to do at this point, bro. But there's only one thing I can do, and that is just lock in and just keep going forward. I was making up positions. I was passing people. I was riding a good pace. But man, going through that finish line there at the end of the 4th lap and realizing that I was 1 minute and 10 seconds back from the leader, that was hard to swallow, dude. That was like, what? There's no way. So we're okay though. There's still 20 minutes left. All right, it's still very early in this race, but I knew I was still like 25th, something like that. I was just not in a good spot. Now I didn't know where my teammate was. He was ahead of me, so I was hoping that he had made his way up. I was just kind of about just sending it right now, and I just had to understand there was some open track coming up. You know, the field was going to keep spreading out, so I wasn't going to be as dense, and I wasn't going to have to pass like 8 people in one corner. I can take one guy at a time, and that's just fine with me. So I'm just letting the race play out, not getting too kind of cooped out right now because I'm in 24th place, which is horrendous. But I know how these motocross races develop, bro. It may look like it's over, but I just know at the end of these pro races, I mean, you can pass a lot of people in just the last 5 minutes. So I need to just stay within myself, you know, just try not to keep crashing, even though it felt like it was impossible, but just find a way. All right, guys, so we are now up to 21st place, trying to crack that top 20, and we still have 16.5 minutes left. So, you know, really at this point, all it takes is a couple good laps. We can get at a top 15 pretty quickly from this position. I'm looking ahead. I see 5 riders in the close vicinity, so I'm very hopeful at this point. I'm ready to just keep moving up, and I understand now that, like, dude, that start was terrible, but this race is just not over at all. Like, there is so much more time to pass people, and there's a lot of 250s coming up, and I got more power than them, so it shouldn't be a big deal getting around them. At least that's what I thought. All right, guys, so we're in 20th. I catch up to this back of this pack. This is 19th, 18th, and 17th. So if I get around these 3 guys, I'm in 17th, and I can see 16th and 15th are right in front of us. And my teammate who was in 19th goes down and takes me with him. And I'm going to be honest, boys. After this moment, I didn't care about anything. After that happened, I said, the world hates me today, and there's nothing I can do about it. I now do not care about anything or anyone. I am going to move up through this pack if it is the last thing I do. I don't care what I have to do. Okay? Literally, that's what I was thinking. I almost never have that mentality in this game, but I was bamboozled at my current situation. I couldn't get around someone without getting launched. I literally couldn't. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to catch my teammate right here. If he does not let me by, I gotta get around him. Like, if this dude tries to battle me again, I am going to throw my controller through my monitor. So I'm like, all right, he's letting me by here, right? No, he's not. Look at this. He's hitting me off the track. My own teammate. I'm like, bro, this isn't real. Like, what am I missing right now? What is out of the equation right now? I don't even understand. So now I'm like, all right, you know, two can play at that game. Are we gonna start team beef right now? Because listen, I'm down. I'm down to start it, bro. All right, now fast forward 2 laps. I see Beast in front of me. We just got lapped by Finn, and we just been battling those last 2 laps until this point here. And genuinely, I'm being serious. I swerved out of the rut on accident, and I did crash him. I promise you, it was not on purpose, okay? I'm joking about the beef part. I was not actually going to start team beef, all right? I don't, if you actually believe that, that's insane. But I did take him out, and it was not on purpose, but it did happen. So I do apologize, but at this point, I knew one of our scores was going to get dropped because the way the MX Nations works is out of the 6 moto scores from your 3 teammates, you can eliminate 1. So I knew this was the moto where we're going to eliminate 1 because we both were doing so bad. But I saw an opportunity with Finn in front of me. I knew people were going to be moving for the blue flag, and my pace honestly wasn't that far off Finn at this point. Like, it was a few seconds a lap off, but enough to where if I stayed up, I could sort of follow him and use these blue flags to my advantage. And that's exactly what I did, boys. All right, so after making some pretty efficient passes, all in the same corner on different laps, too. It's kind of crazy. 3 laps, 3 passes. We were now in 14th place, and 13th was right here in front of us, and this is the last lap. But a guy goes down who's in 12th, so we get around him. So now this guy in front of us is in 12th, and if we can get around him, that means we're P12, guys. We went from last place, like 20 minutes ago, to 12th, and there was the pass right there, and I knew I had to lock in the rest of this lap, and boys, let me tell you something right now. I was feeling this track the last 5 minutes. I was absolutely moving. I wish this race was freaking longer, but just such a poor start kind of ruined it all, and then me and my teammate just kind of got into it. I don't know, man. It was a very interesting race. It was very odd, but to come back to 12th and to at least get a decent score, like a 12 is not bad. And I didn't know where my teammate was at this point. He ended up finishing 17th, though, which on a 250, to be honest, not too bad when you're racing a bunch of MXGP guys. But I kind of knew in the next 2 motos we were not going to get worse than a 17th. And we probably weren't even going to get worse than a 12th, especially if we wanted to get top 5 in the team standings. But we're only 3 seconds behind 11th, too, so we just made a massive comeback there. So after that moto, didn't go too well. You know, I salvaged a 12th. Obviously, the 17th place, we knew we were probably going to eliminate that. But that meant in the next 4 motos that we all had to do our part and try to be in the top 10. That was kind of our goal. If we could just try to finish in the top 10 every single moto from here on out, we would give ourselves a perfect chance to be in the top 5 out of the 15 countries. So in this race, Beaston was racing his second moto, and then Ethan was racing his first. Ethan is on a 450 and Beaston on the 250. So let's tune into this Moto 2 coverage and see how they can do on this first lap.
Kate, who's coming away up front as this field's already thinning out a little bit, and it looks like...
Oh, it's so close.
Is that TP or Rax? No, TJ's up there, Brov's up there. I can't tell. Where is Rax at? It's showing him up on the lead. There it is! Rax to the front, but BQQ, or BGQL with the whole shot.
Wait, guys, did you just see that? Ethan's in 5th, Beaston is in 9th on the 250. Both are in the top 10, exactly what we wanted, boys. This was huge, okay? I was watching this on my second monitor as I was warming up for Moto 3. I was so hyped for these boys. I was so hyped. I was like, this is it. They just got to hold this for a couple laps, and we're going to be in a really good spot going into Moto 3.
Yeah, Ethan of Guam looking to try to...
Having a moment.
Oh,
Hubert
he's
trying to
having
get
a
him
big
instead.
moment. He's having a big moment.
The 2 Polish riders are through.
All right, listen, Ethan made a little bit of a mistake there in the second to last corner. I think some stuff happened before that, too. He got, like, taken out or something like that. So, anyway, it is what it is. He went from 4th to 6th. Honestly, not a big deal because 6th is still extremely good. And the main thing, though, is Beaston getting 9th on the 250. That was a huge finish for our team. And not a lot of 250 riders were successful. That was so huge for us. I knew at this point, if I could come up clutch in this next moto, me and Ethan go crazy, we can get this done, boys. We might be a podium team. We did it, boys. Who would have thought the Jan in the top 10 after the first lap of a race? It's just such a rare sight to see. I knew at this point I had it, bro. I knew I had this in the bag. All I really needed to do for my own sanity was get a top 10 in this race. This was the most stacked race of the day. Moto 3. You got the MXGP riders. You got the open riders. Everybody's on a 450. You got the fastest 450 riders from all over the world in this race. I knew, I was like, all right, this is a great start. Do not throw it away. As you can see, that guy just, he almost killed me there, but you know, it's fine. We got a little bit lucky, all right? But I knew I had some luck to use in this race because last race, I did not use any of it, okay? Let me tell you something. I didn't use any of it. So I'm super hyped right here. I know that if I can just hold this position for the next couple laps, it's going to spread out a bunch. And I got Rax right here. There's obviously a bunch of other battles going on. Rax was obviously battling for Team USA to get the victory at this event, and he was battling with Great Britain. So I also try to be respectful of that. Like, I'm not trying to like interfere with the real battle that's going on, but also, you know, I'm trying to go right here. I'm trying to get a top 10 and maybe even do better. Maybe get a top 5. Who knows? Boys, I was absolutely barking the course at this point. Finally, I was doing what I should have done in Moto 1 if I didn't freaking choke that first lap. All right, I felt so good. I was riding so smooth. But at this point, I was in kind of a weird spot because there was about 11-second gap to the guy in 6th. And then behind me was like a 4-second gap. So I was kind of just in no man's land. I had no one to really battle with or to push me to go faster because I had to battle up to 7th. But at this point, I was just kind of in no man's land. I was trying to keep my pace up. It's kind of hard though when you're riding with no one around you. Like it's better than when there's guys surrounding you because obviously, you know, you have less likelihood chance of crashing. Unless you're me, you're gonna make a stupid mistake on a rut. A lot of guys actually crash there, so you know I don't feel too bad. But Chase gets around me, who is the MXGP rider for Team USA, and so now I looked at this as an opportunity to follow him up. Okay, I knew he was gonna move up through this race because he was fighting for his life at this point. Like if he doesn't move up, Team USA loses. So he had to move up. So I'm like, if I can just follow him here for a few laps and kind of distance myself from 9th, I'm basically just guaranteeing myself a top 8 here in this race, which is pretty damn good. You know, can't be too mad about that. So that was kind of my plan. That's exactly what I did. At this point, we're about 5 minutes since that last clip. I was right behind Chase. At this point, he had gapped me a little bit. But I hung on to him for a few laps, and unfortunately I made a mistake, which lost me some time. But I still, at this point, had 12 seconds over 9. I have a huge cushion, okay? I should get 8th in this race at the worst. Now, I do have 11 minutes left plus 2 laps, which is basically like 15 minutes left in this race. And the E-Road was at its worst. Obviously, when you got a bunch of 450s on a track and 2 motos have already been ran, the E-Road was gnarly. It may not be visible because obviously the track already looked crazy at the start, but there was just these little sections where the ruts would kick you a certain way, or you'd get this weird collision sound and your suspension would fully compress and then rebound, and it was weird. So kind of had to manage that. I made a mistake there, really dumb, but I just knew, okay, 10 minutes, I'm doing fine right now. I'm doing really good. Let me just stay up, and we should get top 8 here. And if we can get top 8, that's gonna put Guam in a really good spot to get top 5 in the country leaderboard. All right, fast forward about a lap later, somehow there was a bike behind me, and I started to get a little bit nervy because I was like, how did this guy catch me? There's no way. And then to my surprise, it was Dylan. You know the guy was flipping off earlier? I alpha mailed before the race? Yeah, it's that guy. Now, this guy went 1-1 at MX of Nations last year. He literally swept everything. He won the entire event. Fastest rider there. I was surprised he was even back here, but now I'm like, hell no, dude. Okay, I got alpha mail you once again. I have to beat you in this race. I have to get 8th for my team, okay? I choked the first moto. I got to come back and get this done. I'm not done with you, Dylan. I'm not done. All right, boys, he kind of got me at this point, but then he hits the floorboards. I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. Everything's working out just as I imagined. We got 5 minutes left on the clock. I'm back in 8th place. And there's an absolute battle that's about to commence here. And I'm feeling pretty confident at this point on the raceway. Like, I'm feeling kind of juiced. So juiced that I was eyeing up this quad, and I absolutely sent it this lap and freaking cleared it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, dude. Someone needs to stop me, brother. Fast forward 3 laps later, I actually kind of gapped him a little bit. Then I made a couple mistakes at the start of this lap, and I heard him right behind me, and I was like, dude, I'm not letting you do it to me. I'm not letting him do it to me. Hell no. Next thing I know, he's eating chunder, and let me tell you something right now, the MX Bikes gods were not on his side in this race, and so I'm like, okay, dude. I mean, he's giving it to me at this point, all right? We got 2 more laps left in this race. I gotta just stay consistent, all right? 8th is good. I will feel good about my day if I can get 8th, all right? I cannot choke this position, all right? This is for Guam, all right? I'm doing it for all the Guamish out there. You motherfucker. Listen, bro, sometimes you're just simply not good enough, and in this situation, I couldn't do it. I don't know. I was not riding this track very good the last couple laps. It's on me, but I did have a nice stint in the middle of this race where I was just flowing around the track. It felt really good, and yeah, I mean, this is my last race ever on the old OEMs as well, so I want to try to finish strong. We still got top 10. Like, 9th is not bad, but I still had to see where my teammate finished. That was going to decide it all, because at this point, I had absolutely no idea where he was. I couldn't see him in 11th, so I knew he was worse than 11th, which, I don't know, could be a bit scary. But we crossed the finish line here. We do get 9th. Only 3 seconds back, actually, because Dylan had cuts. So if I didn't crash there in that second to last corner, I actually would have beat him for 8th, but whatever, who cares? I look at the final scores, and Ethan actually got 12th, which is pretty damn good. Okay, he got 6th in Moto 1, so you can't be mad at him. 6-12, I went 9-12, and Beeson went 17-9, but we eliminate the 17 score. So now I'm going to show you guys the final teams leaderboard. Did we get top 5 in this event? Let's look, boys. Boys, we got 4th place. We were 1 spot off a podium. Now, if you guys actually look at the points, though, we were 18 points back from France, who got 3rd. Then Team USA had 21 points, got 2nd, and then Great Britain won on their home soil with 18 points. The last 3 years has been a flip-flop. Great Britain won in 2022, USA won last year in 23, and now Great Britain has won again in 2024. And even after having that horrendous first moto, we still get 4th. I really don't know how this happened, but listen, the United States did lose to Great Britain, but we actually beat the British B team, which was British Virgin Islands, so at least the B team got ours, okay? We got our lick. Guam, I'm pretty sure, got 11th in this event last year, and so to rebound to get 4th is awesome. I hope to compete in this event next year. And also, well, I gotta say shout out to all the hosts that make this event happen. This is the 5th year that this has happened, and it's absolutely amazing. And this is definitely something I always think about when it comes to like competing in a dirt bike video game online. Like getting to compete in this event is just super cool. It's one of a kind. You know, you don't see MX of Nations anywhere else. So shout out to all the hosts. It's a really hard event to put on, so they deserve a lot of credit. Shout out to Team Guam, boys. Shout out Beaston. Shout out Ethan. We got it done, boys. That's some of that. Like, but I'll see you guys next video. Peace.